The Middle East is witnessing a fundamental shift in engagement rules.
From the rugged peaks of the Bekaa Valley to the volatile waters of the Bab el-Mandeb, the drums of a wider conflict are beating louder than ever.
In the last 48 hours, Israeli strikes have penetrated deeper into Lebanese territory.
While the persistence of asymmetric warfare in Gaza continues to defy conventional military might.
Today, we dissect the tactical maneuvers and the failed diplomacy in Cairo.
And the technological evolution of the regional resistance. This is a deep dive into the front lines.
The Israeli Air Force has signaled a new phase in Operation Northern Shield. For months, the conflict was largely contained within a 10-kilometer radius.
However, the recent precision strikes in the Bekaa Valley represent a calculated gamble.
Turning south to the Gaza Strip, the focus has intensified on the Netzarim corridor.
The IDF's current operations in Deir al-Balah are about establishing long-term strategic control.
They are focusing on the enclave's lateral movement, effectively splitting the territory. The use of autonomous PackBot units for tunnel reconnaissance has significantly reduced casualty rates.
Military logistics are the silent decider here. Sustaining these operations is an unprecedented nightmare.
The humanitarian cost remains catastrophic, with aid corridors frequently disrupted by the intensity of the fighting.
The Houthi attacks on British-linked shipping are a clear message of regional interconnectedness.
By leveraging the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, non-state actors are imposing a maritime tax on global trade.
This forces the US-led Operation Prosperity Guardian to maintain a costly and permanent presence.
Strategically, Iran continues to play the role of the quiet architect in this multi-front engagement.
This is economic warfare by proxy, and it is hitting the global markets where it hurts most.
But the battlefield isn't just physical. A massive, invisible war is being waged in the electromagnetic spectrum.
Without reliable satellite positioning, traditional smart weapons are being forced to rely on older, inertial guidance systems.
This shift favors forces that have trained for degraded environment operations, changing the tactical calculus on the ground.
As the technical war escalates, the world's eyes are fixed on the diplomatic tables in Cairo and Doha.
Mediators are working around the clock to bridge the gap between demands for a permanent ceasefire and tactical pauses.
The sequencing of hostage releases versus the full withdrawal of military forces.
Every hour of delay in these talks translates to more civilian suffering and more logistical strain on the aid corridors.
For the soldiers in the tunnels and the hills, the diplomatic deadlock means the war of attrition continues unabated.
Reconstruction estimates have already surpassed tens of billions of dollars, a figure that grows with every new strike.
In response to the economic strain of interceptor missiles, Israel has accelerated the deployment of its Iron Beam laser system.
This directed energy weapon potentially brings the cost per intercept down to mere dollars.
Regional powers like Saudi Arabia are watching closely, balancing their security needs with the desire for regional stability.
The long-term goal of regional integration via trade corridors is currently on life support due to the ongoing instability.
What happens if these talks fail? The specter of a greater northern front looms larger every day.
Intelligence reports suggest Hezbollah still maintains over 150,000 rockets, many of them precision-guided.
A full-scale escalation would see a saturation of defenses that no current system could fully withstand.
the hospitals of Lebanon and Gaza, the medical systems are operating at 200% capacity with minimal supplies.
The U.S. Navy remains the primary deterrent, but its presence is a double-edged sword that can also trigger escalation. Precision targeting is the new normal, but zero collateral damage remains a myth in densely populated areas.
A global energy shock remains the ultimate black swan event that every world capital is desperate to avoid.
As we continue to monitor the front lines, the question isn't just who wins, but what kind of region is left behind.
The path to peace is buried under layers of history and modern hardware.
The bridge of supplies from the West remains the lifeblood of current high-intensity operations.
Global stockpiles of conventional ammunition are being depleted at a rate not seen in decades.
Strategic sea lift and airlift capacity are being stretched to their absolute limits to maintain the front lines.
Artillery remains the king of battle, even in an age dominated by drones and cyber warfare.
But as the metal meets the ground, the shadow of the great power competition looms over the desert.
Russia's involvement, though subtle, seeks to divert Western attention and resources away from other theaters.
Their presence in Syria provides a persistent Mediterranean footprint that complicates NATO's naval planning.
Meanwhile, China positions itself as a peacemaker, leveraging its economic clout to influence regional stability. Energy security is Beijing's primary driver, making them a crucial, if quiet, player in the negotiation rooms.
This is a laboratory for 21st century warfare, where every new weapon system is tested in real-world conditions.
Data-driven combat is accelerating the OTA loop, observe, orient, decide, and act, to near-instantaneous speeds. But for the millions caught in the crossfire, the speed of technology means little compared to the lack of basic needs.
The weaponization of water and electricity remains one of the most controversial aspects of this modern siege.
As we move into the next phase, what does victory even look like in such a fragmented conflict?
International law is being debated daily, yet its enforcement remains hindered by the veto power of the few.
Targeted operations continue, seeking to eliminate high-value targets while minimizing broader escalations.
Environmental factors, including extreme heat waves, are now being factored into tactical planning by both sides. History tells us that lasting peace requires more than just the absence of war. It requires a new social contract.
The symbolic heart of the conflict remains Jerusalem, a city that holds the hopes and fears of billions.
The human cost is tallied in names, not just numbers, on both sides of every border.
We are witnessing a reshaping of the global order, triggered by the tremors in this ancient region.
As another day begins, the search for a sustainable ceasefire continues in the halls of power and on the ground.
Stay tuned to our channel for the latest updates on this rapidly evolving strategic landscape.
I'm your host for the Global Defense Front. Stay sharp, stay informed. See you in the next briefing.